Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Monday, April 5th at 10:58 p.m. here in sunny California. And the news of the day, the great news of the day, is XRP. The green candle that we have all been waiting to see. And not only are we seeing a nice, thick, engulfing, bullish candle, but we have broken above a historic line of resistance. And breaking above that historic line of resistance has some powerful things to say to us about the short-term to mid-term future of XRP. But before we go any deeper into XRP, let's start with a review of the market in general. I love looking at this chart because this chart is a telling sign, not only of things to come, but of what is absolutely happening right here, right now. This is the Bitcoin market dominance chart, and this is the altcoin market cap chart. And what we're seeing is that Bitcoin's dominance is decreasing, and the altcoin market is increasing. What this sign tells me, once Bitcoin broke bearish out of this triangle, and the altcoins broke bullish out of this triangle, this tells me that we are officially in altcoin season. It's here. We've waited, we've been patient, we have invested, and now we are going to be rewarded. And in fact, we have already begun to be rewarded for our patience. Ladies and gentlemen, altcoin season is upon us. Now, before I go any further, let's take a look at this Bitcoin chart and let's review my last projection. Last video I did on Friday afternoon, I showed you this chart here. I said this looks like an inverted cup, and I could see Bitcoin breaking down to $54,000 to $53,000 before bouncing and heading up to $66,750 and even maybe up to $76,000 before going into its real retracement. I expected it to come check in here with this 50-day EMA over here. I expected it to simply finish this arc here and touch down. What we've seen is we've broken out of that pattern here. We've broken out of this trend, and this led me to question, did we just invalidate this whole scenario? And if so, is Bitcoin simply going to take off and break out again towards $66,000, $77,000? Are we looking at another Bitcoin breakout? Well, before we get too hasty about that, there's a couple things we need to see. First of all, we're still seeing decline in the RSI. We're still seeing lower highs in the RSI. And so in order for us to see another explosion of BTC, we've got to break through this ceiling in the RSI. And not only that, I mean, if you look at the RSI here, we failed to even touch the top of this trend line. And so this is almost a decline of a decline in the RSI. We've got another little line here that we're under. You know, we're still seeing this bearish divergence in the RSI. And so that's not very promising for the near future of Bitcoin. But then when I take a look at this chart here, this is a daily chart. Sometimes you just got to start over with a fresh chart, pretend you didn't see what you saw in other charts, and chart it again as if for the first time. And I've begun to notice that we're in this wedge here, this ascending wedge, which is inherently bearish. It's a reversal pattern. And we're looking at the RSI. The RSI is bearish. The MACDs are bearish. And we're tightening in this wedge. What I see happening is I think we can poke over the top of the wedge one more time, maybe touch $60,000, maybe even come down and hit the bottom of the wedge. If we don't break through the wedge here, we come up and touch the top again. I believe the odds are we're going to break south out of this wedge. But if we break south out of this wedge, this could take us down to between $49,000 and $42,000, which is even a deeper correction scenario than what we're seeing here. I mean, literally, we could come way down here if this scenario plays out the way I think it very possibly could. Now, on the other hand, I've been looking at Litecoin, and first I charted this bearish break from this trend here and said that we would check in with the EMA here. And, I mean, it was almost to the dollar. I mean, if you look at this breakdown, it came down and just broke just beneath that EMA. We found support at 192, just as I suspected. and then we bounced off it, and we bounced off of it bullish. And if we look over here on this chart, what we can actually see on this daily chart is that now what Litecoin has done is it's broken bullish out of a bullish wedge. The RSI is breaking bullish. Now, this is not bearish divergence because we're actually making lower highs, and now we're breaking out of that lower high. Just as the price action is breaking out of that lower high, the RSI is breaking out of that lower high, and the MACDs are turning bullish. So in other words, the fact that we're seeing lower highs in the RSI here is perfect because we saw lower highs in the price action. And now we're breaking above that trend, which is just the opposite of what Bitcoin is doing. It's failing to even hit the top of that trend in the RSI. And here you had a higher high in the price action and a lower high in the RSI. So this, the indicators are telling a completely different story here about Litecoin than they're telling about Bitcoin. So I see a breakout for Litecoin. We're heading towards $249, and from there to $306. Literally, the break of this wedge should take us to $367 for a 71.37% increase here for Litecoin. Now, if we're looking at a decrease for Bitcoin here and an increase for Litecoin here, we're simultaneously looking at an exponential increase here for LTC, BTC, which is what we are trading in the cryptogenic trading community. Check us out on Patreon. By the way, a word about that. I'm going to move the traders and strategist level of my memberships here on YouTube completely over to Patreon. It's just hard for me to manage that group on two platforms. So by the end of this month, I'm going to be shutting down those two levels here on my YouTube channel, but I'm going to keep the hodler level. I'm going to continue to give you hodlers weekly updates on the portfolio. It's easy for me to do that, but it's too hard for me to give trade alerts to the traders and the strategists. So I'm going to move all of those over to the Patreon by the end of this month, but you'll hear more about that. All right, so anyway, as I was saying, yes, Litecoin looks bullish, Bitcoin looks bearish, and we're seeing so many other altcoins begin to pop. I mean, look at Zilliqa. We broke bullish out of this triangle here, and the next target is 27 cents. We're making our way towards 27 cents. Everybody's talking about DENT. We made a perfect cup and handle pattern here, broke bullish out of that, and the target is 2.3 cents. Lot of hopes for DENT. I mean, we bought it at 0.2 cents, so it's already 10x for us. This is one asset in the cryptogenic portfolio that's already 10x'd. Also looking at DENT over here, looks like we're finishing up a cup and handle pattern here, and once we break above this trend line, that should take us up about another 150.7% in the midterm, probably about 4 to 6 weeks. And if you saw my video on staking cake on Beefy, you're not only going to benefit from the increase of value of the cake token, but you're going to make 200+% APY staking it on Beefy. So that's very, very exciting. But now let's get back to the real story. XRP. What does this mean? We've broken above this historic line of resistance. Well, what it means for us in the short term is that we can expect XRP to make its way towards $1.15. Now, by the way, we closed a weekly candle above this line. Well, we closed a daily candle above this line. If we close a weekly candle above this line, we are in the money. And there's every indication that we're going to do so. I think we're going to make our way towards $1.15 in the short term, but where are we going to go from there? Well, if we look at this macro XRP chart, we see that we haven't been above this line. We haven't closed a candle above this line since all the way over here in April of 2018. That's how long we have been under this line. And to get from the very depths of where we were back to this line, we had to grow by 601.85%. So the depth, it's like we made this huge cup here. And if we chart the depth of this cup, we can project that in the midterm, we're moving up another 601.77% to $5.53. Of course, I've got targets way above that. And, you know, I can share the rationale for those in later videos. But let's just say that XRP is on its way. That all of the naysayers who said XRP is going to drop down to 5 cents or 4 cents, or it's going to be 11 cents or 12 cents or 22 cents, it's not going anywhere. Those of us who have been patient and held our ground, we are about to be richly rewarded. So I would like to congratulate you if you're a holder of XRP, because your wait is getting ready to pay off in marvelous ways. All right, folks, that's all I got for you tonight. As always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is simply my perspective, my opinion as an enthusiast. I appreciate each and every one of you who watch my videos. Would you please just hit that like button, leave a comment in the comments section, and let me know. And also ask any questions. I do my best to respond to everybody who leaves a comment in the comment section. Please ignore the spammers. There's also some fake cryptogenics out there that use my logo and everything. And if they give you a WhatsApp phone number or a Telegram number, please ignore it. That's not me. Visit my website at cryptogenic.io. Check out my trading community at patreon.com/cryptogenic. But yeah, if you would just smash that like button, leave a comment, subscribe to this channel as well, I would greatly appreciate it. Appreciate each and every one of you, and I'd like to encourage you to make it your aim to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. This is Cryptogenic, signing out.